Hey guys, welcome back to the video series. It's Tom here from Flexibility is Freedom, and in this next slideshow for episode 7, I'm going to talk about how to brainstorm new business ideas and do it in a way, in a particular framework that I think makes it really easy to come up with a couple of ideas. So I call these the 3 Ps, and the 3 Ps are passion, or things that you're interested in, things that you kind of do as a hobby anyways, things that you view as side projects. Problems, so think about what bothers you today, what kind of things would you like to have solved in your everyday life. And possibilities, so kind of a catch-all category for things that we don't know yet as a society what might happen, or potential business venture ideas that we have not yet explored at scale. So I'm going to talk a bit more about all 3 of these and then give you some homework for the next video. So the first one is passion, and I think oftentimes this is sort of the first type of business idea people have. So I would preface this by saying, it doesn't have to be a burning passion. You don't have to be like, I want to go save the world, solve world hunger, that kind of stuff. I think anything that you're interested in, even if you don't know much about it, but you're kind of curious about, and the important thing is you're able to spend hours, doing research and figuring something out without kind of getting exhausted and feeling bored. And the reason why passion is so important in a particular business is, when the going gets tough, you don't want to give up too early, especially because we're doing SEO for most of this business. There are gonna be times when you're not ranking, you're not getting any traffic, and you need to be able to figure out what's wrong. How can I make my content better? How can I retool my business model so that it works? And it helps when you're doing something that you're actually interested in, that you feel invested in. So that's why I think passion is a pretty good indicator for, or at least one of the good sort of ways to think about your business idea. So here are some quick examples that I kind of hit out here. So things like fitness, some people like to do bodybuilding, or they like to travel. Some people are really into fashion and arts and sports. So typically these are the types of things that you would do in your spare time. Typically it wouldn't have to be something that you do for work, although some people do love their work, and their work to them is a passion. So that can be all kinds of different ways to think about passion. Gardening, camping, riding motorcycles and stuff. So you get the idea. That's what a passion idea would be. The second one is problems. Oops, and I have this mismanaged that PowerPoint there, but problems will be things that bother you, things that are relatively urgent, and the urgency is actually quite important when we talk about sort of the online consumer. If it's not urgent, they might not actually want to act right away on something. And then also things that you have a strong desire to solve. So it's both urgent and it means a lot to you. So actually, the great example here is what I do right now, which is in the skincare space. So I put the example as sort of acne or pimples or blemishes, or other types of skin problems that people have, and they want to get rid of it, and it kind of bothers them, and they have a strong desire to actually go and solve it, and it's relatively urgent. So other examples would include losing weight. These are all examples I think during COVID are pretty relevant, right? Losing weight, going out there into the world and dating, mental health, financial problems. These would all sort of be very relevant, very pertinent things, problems that a lot of people are having today. And then if you expand that at a societal level, there's also society level problems that we have, such as, healthcare costs are going up. There's a lot of homelessness in certain cities, certain places in the country. Student debt, or rising student debt, is one of those problems as well, and as well as the cost of housing. And again, the list goes on, right? I mean, just kind of listen to the news. You can hear so many of sort of societal problems, and that can be an interesting business idea too, if you want to kind of, if that's something that you find interesting. That could be something that you can turn into a content type of website, or look into potential avenues where people with a certain problem, for example, we can look at financial problems, they would come to your website and you can actually give them, good advice, or you can give them good information, and then they can go and take action. And one of the great things about having a website centered around a central problem, especially one that you've experienced, is that you have sort of also the satisfaction of being able to help people who have a similar problem to you, and you're kind of providing content that can help them solve that problem. So there is a bit of a satisfaction. And I guess with the passion as well, you also have a satisfaction because you're You're being able to cultivate an audience of people who, enjoy the same thing. They all enjoy sort of travel or fashion or sports the way that you do, so that you're kind of building out a community. So, kind of similar with problems as well. And then the last one I want to talk about real quick is possibilities. So again, I screwed up the slideshow here. Apologies. So with possibilities, we're talking about passions and problems that society has not yet recognized or adopted at scale yet. So what I mean here is, potential avenues, right? Usually it's on the technology side that we as a society, we have not yet adopted at scale. So you think about smartphones, maybe 10 or 15 years ago, smartphones kind of came out. That could have been a big possibility because society had not yet adopted it. And then you fast forward to today, it's it is a very important part of our daily experience. Everyone uses one, and so had you seen that 15 years ago, and you had launched sort of a website talking about different types of smartphones, or not just watching a guy on YouTube earlier, and he just reviews different types of smartphones. So if you had gotten onto that, by today, there would have been a much larger market, and you would have started very early in it. So you had a very good chance that you would grow very quickly and capture a lot of that market. So some examples today would be things like virtual reality, blockchain, drones, online, not just online dating, but going on online dates, 5G devices. So I'm sure there are a lot of things I'm not capturing here. And some further examples would be, especially after this year, we have a post-COVID type of world. What does that look like for retail? What does that look like for education? What does that look like for, are people going to work from home indefinitely? And I think with the post-COVID part, I mean, there's so many ideas that I think no one really knows what's going to happen. But to me, I think fundamentally, in the post-COVID world, we still have this need to be human, right? There's still a human experience that, sort of has to be physical to some degree. And I just wonder how we manage to create that in a post-COVID world. Do we have sort of, Zoom calls with your friends? Does that become like some kind of virtual reality Zoom call in the future? Like, I don't know. So with possibilities, it is quite exciting, but with possibilities, one of the drawbacks is it's not always clear how you're going to make money today. Like if you were to start like, a blockchain website, a website about blockchain, it's not clear to me how you would make money. Maybe advertising, maybe you could write an ebook and sell it, but something that you would have to explore a little bit more. And it helps if the particular idea you have, you're really passionate or you're really curious about it. So even if it doesn't work out necessarily from a financial aspect, it would still be something kind of interesting. You can kind of keep on the side, and maybe one day, that topic is going to, grow exponentially into something that we're using it as a society at scale, and then that's when you're going to see that traffic growth and that monetization growth. Okay, so that's it for this video. I just want to give you those 3 elements, and then for homework, I'm going to do this myself as well. We're going to look at some different ideas. Just write them down over the course of, I'd say, a week or so. Write down some ideas. I actually have a list from a much longer, couple of years that I've been writing down. So I'm going to go through that list, and we're trying to categorize our ideas into passions, problems, or possibilities as well as you can. And then we'll explore those ideas in future videos where, again, we're going to go through kind of the industry analysis, try to understand, is this an industry that we like, that looks interesting? And then we'll, if the industry analysis looks interesting, then we'll look into the niche analysis, try to understand, is this a niche where we actually have a good shot of, ranking for some keywords on the Google side? Is there enough search traffic? And then the all important thing is, how do we make money, right? How do we make money writing about this content, or putting YouTube videos about this content? Is there an audience there that makes sense for us to try to capture as a marketer, an audience that merchants would love to pay us for referral traffic? So all of those questions, we'll get into that in the next part of the course. All right, I'll see you in the next video.